all for being here. I would like to start greeting His Excellency Yasir Al-Rumayyan. I would like to thank you for hosting this event in Rio de Janeiro. I would like also to greet our President, President Lula, all the members of the Brazilian government, all the members of our business firms. And it's an honor to have to host this first session with you, His Excellency. I prepared some questions, and if I may, I would like to start reading them to you so you can tell us what the FII Institute does and how that can help us here in Brazil. First, this is the first FII priority meeting to be hosted here in Brazil and in Latin America. Can you shed some light on why FII priority is taking place here in Brazil today? And can you present to us in general what the FII Institute does and how do you think it can create impact here in Brazil and all around the world?
Excellent. Well, first of all, thank you very much. And I would like to thank President Lula for his presence here with us today. Of course, why Rio de Janeiro? The question is, why not? I mean, this is one of the greatest cities, not only in Brazil, but in the world. A beautiful city like Rio de Janeiro. And at the same time, we will have the G20, we'll have the COP30 in Rio de Janeiro. So this is like maybe the introduction of, of both events in here. And if you look at the venture capital money, it's mainly coming here to Brazil and to Rio de Janeiro. And I think the number is like 12,000 new startups with about, I think, 16 or 12 unicorns were created in here. So I think the potential in Brazil is really big. And the FII Institute started back in 2017 in Saudi Arabia, and for the past few years, we started making many events of the FII internationally. So this year we started in Miami, and it was a great event, and I think the event in here in Rio de Janeiro will be as good, if not better. And then we move in after that to Riyadh in October, which is the big event. It's becoming the largest investment conference in the world. We have usually 300 to 500 speakers. We have participants of 5,000 to 7,000, and we will be introducing many new things in here, like the FII TV and our efforts in social media, and to get connections with, connected with the world, and to let the world know about the things that we're doing. One of the things that we do in FII is ACT, where we really invest in the initiatives that we try to endorse. And we did that in Africa and Kenya and India, where we started our ACT initiatives there. And we will continue on doing the same things. One of the initiatives that we will do also here in Brazil is, under the ACT, is a education platform, so hopefully that will also work out pretty well.
Thank you very much. As the leader of the most impactful sovereign wealth fund in the world, how do you see PIF shaping the global economy, and where do you see opportunities here in Brazil and in Latin America in general?
Yeah, I mean, PIF is an institute that was established back in 1971, but in 2015 we started with a new strategy led by our chairman, the Crown Prince, and a new board of members, and mainly they're some of the most influential ministers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So about 80% of our investments are domestic investments, which is about $800 billion, because our assets under management is about $1 trillion. And we're targeting to get to a range between $2 to $3 trillion by the year 2030. But most of our investments are domestic, and most of these investments are in greenfield projects, new projects. Why we're doing it? We're doing it to have the right internal rate of returns. We're doing it to have the right job creation, the right GDP contribution, and at the same time to create some local content, to bring in most of the things that we're importing from the international markets to be in Saudi Arabia. What are we doing internationally? It's only about 20% of our assets under management, but at the same time, this 20% is about $200 billion. We started investing in Brazil back in 2016 through one of our subsidiaries, SALIC, and the food security, but we continued on the investments from PIF and the other PIF portfolio companies. We're interested in investing, of course, in technology, in renewable energy, and mining, and hopefully in football too. So we are interested in, since the population of Saudi Arabia, about 65% under the age of, or 70% under the age of 35. So one of the things that we're interested in is recreation and entertainment and sports. That's why we have so many big initiatives in different sports, including football. And I think this is like the best place to be discussing football.
Thank you. We very much welcome. We very much welcome your investment in Brazil. I know from BNDES, our National Development Bank, where do you invest? And I believe you already met our president, Aloysio Mercadante. You have a bilateral meeting with him.
Yeah.
You can count on us to collaborate in anything you need to your investments here. And I'm also part of the Vasco crowd of Mayor Eduardo Paes and President Lula. But going to my third question, it deals with the environment. It seems especially relevant to discuss sustainability as we are in a place with such incredible biodiversity and potential for green energy and renewable sources. What initiatives do you see as crucial to the world?
Yeah, I mean, Saudi Arabia is one of the most advanced nations when it comes to sustainability and renewable energy. Although we're one of the largest fossil fuel producers, through one of the greatest companies in the history, not only the world, which is Saudi Aramco, and I'm really proud to be the chairman of this company. So we have maximum spare capacity of about 12 million barrels a day, and we're producing below that between 8.5 to 9.5 million, depending on the supply and demand. But at the same time, we think, and that's the reason why we're going to the renewable energy, we think fossil fuel is scarcity. And you have less and less people deploying and investing money in the fossil fuel. And that's why we need to have the alternative. So the strategy of Saudi Arabia is to have 50% of our energy to be produced by renewables by the year 2030. So PIF is one of the largest capital deployers in renewable energy. We own about 60% of a great company called Aqua Power. Aqua Power, they have about 55% gigawatt of energy, and mainly it's renewable energy. They produce about 8 million cubic meter of water on daily basis all around the world. We have also in NEOM has one of the greatest and the largest green hydrogen projects, $8.4 billion project. NEOM Air Products, and also PIF, I'm sorry, Aqua Power is invested in this project. We have brought down the cost for solar power to 1 cent per kilowatt hour. So we see we're not only investing in renewable energy because it's good for the world, but also we're bringing it to a very cost-effective kind of energy. And that's the way you can get more and more investments. Now, the problem that we see in the world that there's a lot of imbalances between the global north and the global south. So I'll just give you an example. Only 5% of the deployment in renewable energy is deployed in the global south, versus 95% is in the global north. The second thing, we have to give the opportunity for the global south to readjust itself to be on the same level of the global north, then we will ask them to use only the renewable energy. At this time, they have to continue on their developments of their own countries' economies and societies, and then we can ask them to do that. But for us, at the PIF or Aramco or the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we're very much committed to these kind of investments. And the reason why we're committed, because we not only see how good it's going to bring things to our world, but we're making money out of it. We're creating jobs. We're having a GDP contribution, and we have local content in that.
Well, I congratulate you on all those investments. I don't know if you know, but here in Brazil, we also have some major investment plans. We have the Growth Acceleration Plan under the supervision of Minister Rui Costa, which involves a lot of investments in clean energy. We have the Ecological Transformation Plan, supervised by Minister Haddad, which also invests heavily in green finance and especially in reforestation. We at the BNDES are now preparing projects of concessions of forests in a total area that's the size of the UK. And I look forward to presenting that to your institutions and to see how we can collaborate. But that would
be really great, because some of the initiatives that we're working on in Aramco and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is basically planting trees, which is something very similar to counter the deforestation, which is happening in Latin America and also in Brazil.
I think our two institutions can do great things in that area. Your Excellency, I come to my last question. What do you think are the key challenges posed by the digital and artificial intelligence era?
Yeah, I mean, the AI main hurdle, I think, to my mind, at this stage, because remember, this is the beginning of the AI era. So no one can really predict the use cases and the requirements. But what we can all agree on is the AI stack, which require the infrastructure, which is the data centers, and the chips, and then the middle layer, and then the apps. But a lot of people didn't mention one thing, which is energy, how you can put or consume energy. And the energy consumption with AI is going to really go off the roof. We're expecting an increase of power consumption by 3 to 6% on an annual basis coming in from the use of AI. I'll just give a small example. ChatGPT learning process or training for 1 day is the equivalent of 283,000 Californian homes consumption per year. That's 1 day. So this tells you about the big challenge that the world will face, because that means you will have more emissions if we're going to continue on using fossil fuel, especially coal and other things. So we should look for solutions how to power AI revolution through renewable energy. And that's what we're working on. And I think Brazil is very well positioned to be one of the major players on doing so. What you need is the following: the right regulations and government backing, the right investor mix, and of course the renewable energy. And to top it all off is to have the right people. And we have so many of them in here in Brazil.
Well, we are working on that. You can count on us. We're going to improve the regulation. We have favorable financial conditions for this kind of investment. We look forward to bringing a lot of data centers to be powered by renewable sources in Brazil. But thank you very much for the session. And if you have any other comments or remarks.
Thank you. No, thank you very much. That was really great. Thank you.